welcome to hour number 2 today of Blue Collar Sports. It is 3:05, so we are in hour number 2. We are every 2 to 4 p.m. Tuesday, Thursday afternoons down here at Boise State University in the Pulse Radio studio. You're listening to Blue Collar Sports, a show where we cover all national sports. If you're new to us, we just love talking sports, hanging out, having a good time. That's why we're here. I'm your co-host, Seth Newville, joined here with co-host Trevor Brenlin. We've had a great show for you so far today. It's been all geared around the Super Bowl first hour, the underperforming Super Bowl, as I like to put it. Trevor, I'm sure, has a different word for it, though.
It was a great Super Bowl, great defensive matchup we had. The Patriots beating the Rams 13-3. I thought it was very exciting. The halftime show, commercials, maybe not. We talked about a little bit of that in the first hour, but that was the last hour, and we got the whole rest of the year to talk football. Now let's talk about some NBA talk that's been going down, some big rumors. Big talk in the NBA. Trades are about to happen, so I'm very excited to get to it right now with you, Seth.
Yeah, the next two segments we got geared towards the NBA as there's a lot going on. The trade deadline is Thursday at 1 o'clock Mountain Standard Time, so that will be right before our show on Thursday. So it will be wrapped up. We'll have lots to cover for you on Thursday. So today we're kind of going to give you our predictions. It's going to be great stuff. If you ever want to talk sports with us as well, there's a couple ways you can get a hold of us. We got Twitter. If you're watching the Twitter right now through our Periscope, we appreciate our tags at Blue Collar SR, the B, C, the S, and the R all capitalized. We also have an Instagram, which is at Blue_Collar_Sports. So check us out. Multiple ways you get in touch with us if you ever want to be on the show or just talk sports.
Absolutely. If you missed one of our Periscope shows, watch us on YouTube now. Blue Collar Sports. We got our past Periscope shows on there. Trying to get those out to you. So good stuff there. But if you're watching right now, let's talk some NBA right here.
Let's do it. Let's get right into it. Of course, the biggest news is the all-out pursuit for Pelicans star forward Anthony Davis. Lots of up and downs on this story. But nothing has changed yet. He is still a member of the New Orleans Pelicans. Multiple reports have surfaced of what the Los Angeles Lakers are offering. It is basically their entire roster and picks for Anthony Davis, which the Pelicans have yet to budge and take, which reports came out today that the Lakers are now backing out and waiting for a counter offer. What is to make of the Anthony Davis situation?
Yeah, I don't know exactly here what the Lakers are offering to get Anthony Davis. I've seen many different reports. Who knows? It's something along the lines of Lonzo, Ingram, Kuzma, multiple first-round picks, and apparently the Pelicans want even more. So I don't know exactly what the Pelicans are thinking here. I thought they had a pretty good trade, if that is for real, for the New Orleans. They know Anthony Davis is going to leave once he's done, so why not do here? That's a good trade for me. But, if the Lakers are going to have to give up this much, it is a little too much right now. You're giving away pretty much your whole core, your whole depth lineup. They're going to have no depth if they do this trade. Anthony Davis is a good star. He'll play great alongside LeBron, but they're not going to have anybody around them to shoot the ball. It's going to be very poor offensive lineup. So I don't know exactly what's going to go down here. I don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully a third team maybe steps into this mess, trying to take off a load from the Lakers and the Pels. But I do think Anthony Davis will be a Laker by Thursday.
So you are predicting he's going to be a Laker by Thursday?
Yes, he will be.
So here's my prediction of what's going to happen and what I think should happen. First of all, if I'm the Pelicans, I'm not taking that Laker offer either. While those are nice young pieces, I don't think any of those guys ever have a chance of being on an all-NBA team. Kuzma can maybe be an all-NBA second or third team, same with maybe Brandon Ingram. But I don't see potential in Lonzo Ball. Their picks, I don't know how valuable those picks are going to be worth with LeBron James there. It's never going to be that high of a pick. And if I'm the Pelicans, I'm waiting till the summer. He's still on contract for another year and a half, so he's going to play the remainder, or maybe not play. We'll see what happens. But he's going to be, I think he should be with the Pelicans for the remainder of this season, because I think this summer more teams are going to become buyers. And I think it's similar to, you look at the Paul George situation. I know the Lakers this time are desperately trying. They really didn't try to go after Paul George necessarily. They didn't offer a whole lot. And so they are showing that they're desperately trying. But if a team is willing to take another risk this summer, I know the Celtics have been a huge option throughout this. Pelicans reported that they want to wait till this summer to see if Jason Tatum becomes on the block in the summer. I'm guessing they're hoping that they struggle come playoff time, and the Celtics may look, in order to keep Kyrie Irving there, may need to look to go get Anthony Davis. And so I think they could wait. If a guy like Jason Tatum could potentially open up that I think is way more valuable than any deal the Lakers could give him right now. So I think if I'm the Pelicans, I think what will happen is they are going to wait. He will not be moved, but I do think there will be some other big moves made.
For the Lakers, that wouldn't be the bet or the worst thing to happen to them either. If it is going to be in the offseason, I think they could still go sign another big-time free agent. And if they're able to do that, maybe they could find a way to trade for Anthony Davis then and then form a big free. But who knows if I know they want AD now. That way he's not. There's no chance he could go anywhere else. But then it does take away your depth in your roster, and that would hurt them a lot. And then you could recruit a third star as well alongside those big two. But I know the Lakers are trying to get him right now. If it is in the summer, it's going to be a harder shot for them to get him.
And I do think, regardless, if they don't land AD this summer, this season is by Thursday, this season's a disaster for the Lakers. You're looking at, they got coaching controversy right now. Luke Walton, not a lot of people. There's reports of JaVale McGee and Michael Beasley confronting Luke Walton in the locker room. LeBron has been fairly open about his criticism of Luke Walton. He's a younger coach. So they got coaching controversy. They have now offered basically everyone on their entire roster except for LeBron James in a trade package, which if I'm a player and I know an organization doesn't want me there, that's going to affect the way I feel about the team. So I think this season, while I still think they'd get into the playoffs right now, they're a game and a half outside of the playoffs, but LeBron hasn't played since Christmas Day, except for that one game. So I do think they will still get into the playoffs, but I think this season's a disaster. I think they lose first or second round in the playoffs, and I think it's going to be a very interesting summer.
It's not exactly a disaster. They have a one man in LeBron James. They were able to bring him in free agency, which is big time, and now stars are going to line up to play with him because Anthony Davis is trying to get over there. So it's not a disaster at all. They get LeBron. He'll be healthy very soon. They're going to get their star in AD, and all is good.
A couple other dark horses have emerged for Anthony Davis as well. He came out with a report of his preferred destinations, and that included the Milwaukee Bucks, which I think is a perfect fit for Anthony Davis. I don't know if they have quite the pieces. I mean, I think they have more enticing pieces in LA, to be honest.
No.
With Brogdon, Middleton, Bledsoe.
Those are the same players.
Guys along those lines. I think Middleton's better. I mean, Lakers have more potential. I understand that. But I think if you pair Giannis Antetokounmpo and Anthony Davis together, that's scary. I would go on a lot of pursuit for him for sure. Clippers doesn't make a lot of sense to me. I don't see that fit at all, so I don't think that could happen. But I think the Bucks could emerge, especially if it gets to the summer. If nothing gets done by Thursday, I think the Bucks could definitely emerge as a serious candidate for Anthony Davis.
I could see the Bucks or even a Toronto team trying to push a deal done right now because they see themselves as one of the highest teams in the East right now, and they think they have a realistic shot, which they don't really have a shot. But if they do...
You don't think so?
Not against the Warriors. Maybe they could get to the finals,
Yeah.
but nothing against the Warriors if they have the team they have right now. That's why I think if they think they have a shot to make the next step with Anthony Davis, then they might be able to do that. Because if you have Kawhi, AD, or if you have a Giannis and AD, then that might be something. So it would be very interesting to see what pieces they would be able to give up. I don't know exactly if they're going to have to take out their whole roster in depth like the Lakers would to get him, because then it would take them a step back as well. But I think the Raptors and the Bucks see themselves at the top, and if they want to compete with the Warriors, maybe they'll make a trade like this.
So we'll see what happens with the Anthony Davis situation. Definitely going to be interesting. A whole bunch of different reports. We'll see if we get a Woj bomb coming up in the next couple days. But I want to talk about, because on Thursday a deal happened that we weren't able to talk about much because of it was our Super Bowl show. But that is the Kristaps Porzingis deal. With him going to Dallas to join Luka Doncic for Dennis Smith Jr., Wesley Matthews, who I believe is now seeking a buyout or a potential trade option, but I believe he will be bought out if they cannot trade him, and DeAndre Jordan, and involved in that deal also were Trey Burke and Tim Hardaway Jr. But it's interesting to know here, Kristaps Porzingis said today that they are working on now a long-term deal. This is the place he wants to be, despite it not being on his preferred destination list, but beforehand on the trade report. But Dallas is his place to be. They are working on a long-term deal. Do you like this fit?
I really do like this fit. I think Kristaps sees the relationship between with the foreign players. With Dirk, he sees himself like a Dirk. German player. He sees how Luka Doncic has been able to fit very well with this team, and now he thinks as a foreign player he could be just as good as both of them on the Mavericks here. And I really like the fit. It's a different, it's a European style game with Porzingis and Luka running point.
It's like Nash and Dirk.
And I think it's a very good fit. So, unfortunately, Porzingis is hurt, and it doesn't look like he's going to play for this season. But I think things are looking up for the Mavericks next year. Luka and Dennis Smith Jr. didn't really get along too well, I don't think, so they got rid of Dennis. They kept Luke, and they're going to be able to get something in the draft, I think a pretty good pick. And then who knows what they could do in free agency. So I can see them building a pretty decent team here. Who knows if Dirk will stay another year to mentor Porzingis or not. But I like Porzingis staying here. He sees the fit well with the culture of what the Mavericks are doing. And I think Cuban got him on the phone and said, let's make a deal. And I think they will.
Yeah, I think it's a great fit for him. Definitely better than New York. I don't think he's ever going to be a guy that is going to be the best player on a contending team.
No.
But I see Luka Doncic as that guy. I think Luka Doncic, the dude's 19 years old. He's already putting up insane numbers, and really he's selling a lot of tickets. He is the face of that franchise already, kind of taking over for Dirk. So I do think that he's going to be that guy, and then you throw in a complimentary piece like Kristaps Porzingis. And I think maybe down the line, if they get another piece as well, someone that wants to join that package, I think that team can be legit.
Yeah.
I really like this deal for Dallas so far. I mean, I know we got 2 more days still till the deadline, but so far they are the big winners for me.
And for New York, I don't think it's a bad move either. They get a young point guard in Dennis Smith Jr., who's not a bad player. DeAndre Jordan's just a 1-year rental. They'll get rid of Wesley Matthews, but they get 2 future first-round picks. I think they could do something with that. They got their own picks as well. They could trade both of those and get another high pick in the draft this year. Maybe they get 1 or 2, get Zion or RJ. I don't know if they can get a big-time free agent like a Kyrie or a Jimmy Butler or even a Kevin Durant. But if they're able to do that, get a Zion Williamson and pair them up, they could be a new show in New York, which we've been missing for a long time. So I think the Knicks are setting themselves up for the future. David Fizdale is a great coach. A lot of players really like him. They respect him. So I think he'll be able to bring in some free agents. So I think for the first time, the Knicks are finally trying to create a culture, get rid of the Porzingis mess. They never got along, so they got rid of that contract, and they're trying to look for the future, and I think they can do it.
Yeah, this deal at first when I saw it didn't make a lot of sense for me for New York. But looking at it now, I do like the direction they're going. First of all, I really like the hire of Dave Fizdale, like you talked about. Yeah. He's a very well-respected coach in the NBA. A lot of people like him a lot, so I thought that was a good deal. And I will say, outside of the Warriors, for me this offseason, the Knicks are the favorite to get Kevin Durant. I do still think the Warriors are the favorite to re-sign him. But outside of them, I like the Knicks most. And you look at this deal, it frees up 2 max contract spots, which means they could get 2 guys. And you look at this free agent class, it's pretty scary. Mm-hmm. You could go out and get Durant, Kyrie Irving, maybe if he wants to leave Boston. Right. DeAndre Jordan's a great friend of Kevin Durant's. If he would re-sign, because he's going to play the rest of the year this year with New York, he would re-sign definitely for below the max, I think, to stay there. And if you can't get Kyrie, you have enough pieces now to potentially make a trade this summer for Anthony Davis to also entice Kevin Durant to sign there as well. Because when you bring Anthony Davis, who we know is also close to Kevin Durant, he's always respected. I remember he predicted Anthony Davis when he was first or second year, when they played Team USA together, he said Anthony Davis will be the best player in the NBA soon. So he likes his game a lot. And now you have a package built around Knox, Smith Jr., and all those picks, a potential top 3 pick this year. That's an enticing offer to send to New Orleans for Anthony Davis this summer. So if it gets to that point, that can entice Kevin Durant to sign there, and that's why I think this deal does make sense, but they have to count on a lot of factors.
Absolutely. I do think the Mavericks are the big winners in this deal here, but I think the Knicks are setting themselves for the future, and you got to be optimistic about things. They haven't had great years in the past, but I think they finally have hope that they could have one of these big years, big free agent class, and I hope something happens big because New York needs good basketball, and they haven't had it in a long time.
It's going to be exciting to watch, that's for sure. But we got still plenty more free agent or trade deadline stuff to talk about coming up for you next segment, as well as some breaking news that came out today in the NBA. Some heartbreaking news for me. So we'll cover that once we get back. We are heading off to break, but we'll see you here in a sec.